This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our MLB On Deck segment for Monday, April 22nd. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below so you can watch all of our MLB, NBA, NFL videos. And if you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily FanDuel, and DraftKings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing, bro?
Yo, what up, man? Welcome back. Happy birthday. Happy late birthday. Welcome back. Let's get it.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, hey, as usual, we're just going to do a quick overview of some hitters, some pitchers that we're liking on this slate. If you want a more in-depth analysis, make sure and check out our deep dive article. We have a core plays video. We have a value play article. We have a lot of different articles up for MLB right now. So this is just kind of overview. If you need a lot more in-depth analysis, check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Yeah, man, I'm ready to just jump into it. I'm going to get into some bats real quick that I'm liking. You could get into some pictures, and we could just kind of go from there. So, basically, I mean, anytime Coors Field is on the slate, we always want to consider Coors Field. It's a pretty obvious situation, but always got to mention them just because there are some people that are new to daily fantasy and they may not know that you want to attack the Coors Field games whenever they're on the slate. So, of course, we got Colorado. They have the highest implied total on the slate of almost 6 runs going against Jeremy Hellickson, who gives up a 346 WOBA to left-handers, a 297 WOBA to right-handers. I personally think you want to probably attack them a little bit more with left-handers, but you look at the obvious guys for Colorado, their main guys. Story, Arenado, Blackman, Dahl's swinging a good bat this season as well. Another lefty you could throw in there. And then the guy who I think he's pretty cheap right now. Not a lot of people are going to be on him just because he hasn't had the best start to the season. It is Ian Desmond, though. Ian Desmond, he's 3 for 8 with a double, a triple, and a home run in his career off Hellickson. So he's a guy that's really standing out to me at a kind of a lower price tag on this slate. And then on the other side of things for Washington, you got to like Washington as well. They have a 5.3 implied total going against Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson gives up a 331 WOBA to left-handers, a 303 WOBA to right-handers. For Washington, you look at their big guys. You got to look at Zimmerman, Brian Dozier, 3.3. If he's going to be batting in that 2-hole, I absolutely love Brian Dozier in this spot. He's starting to get hot. He's had 2 home runs in the past 3 games, so starting to swing a little bit better bat. Gives us stolen base upside as well. And then you got to look at, they got, Juan Soto swinging a good bat, Adam Eaton as well. So for me, I'm just really going to stick with those 4 guys for Colorado. It's Zimmerman, Dozier, and then you can look at Eaton and Soto in the outfield. A couple of their other guys are hurt right now, a little bit of a banged up team in Washington. So I'm going to stick with those guys. Next, moving on, next team I'm going to be looking at, it's going to be the Houston Astros going against Jake Odorizzi. They have a 5.3 implied total, which is the second highest on this slate. Odorizzi gives up a 325 WOBA to left-handers, 347 WOBA to right-handers. You look at the obvious guys for Houston. It's not a secret who you want to target every night. You got Springer, Bregman, Correa, Altuve. They're 4 main guys. And then, you can look at Brantley too. Brantley, he has to throw him in there as well. He's a really, really good baseball player, and he fits very well in the middle of that Houston lineup. Gives you a lefty in the middle of a bunch of those righties. And Brantley also does have a home run off of Odorizzi, and Bregman does as well. Next team I'm going to be kind of looking at is going to be the Chicago White Sox going into Baltimore. Baltimore, we've seen it earlier in the year when we were playing a lot of A's and a lot of Yankees against Baltimore in Baltimore. I mean, this ballpark gives up a bunch of runs. They get a matchup today with the White Sox, who have a 4.8 implied total. The White Sox go against David Hess, who gives up a 354 WOBA to left-handers, 348 WOBA to right-handers. So the guy's getting hit hard from both sides of the plate. The guy I'm going to start with on the White Sox, Jose Abreu, 2.8. He's just too cheap, man. This guy's their best player on their team. I really like Jose Abreu in this spot a lot. You can look at Yomer Sanchez, 2,500. It all depends on where he's going to be in the top in the order. Sometimes he's more towards the top. Sometimes he's more towards the bottom, but he does have a homer in his career off David Hess. Just want to quickly mention that. And then the last two guys that you really look at on the White Sox, whenever you're mentioning them, Tim Anderson and Makata are the two guys you want to look at. The problem with them is their price tags are crazy, crazy high. How I just told you that Jose Abreu is a buy low opportunity for this team, batting in the heart of that order. Makata and Anderson have both been, they've been playing very, very well, but they both have 4.3 price tags as well. So it's kind of making the Chicago White Sox stack for me a little bit more GPP, just because some of the main guys that I want to target in a stack are a little bit higher priced. And do I want to pay 4.3 for a couple guys in this Baltimore game, or do I want to pay 4,000 plus for a couple guys in Coors Field? That's going to be the big question on the day for me. Lastly, the team I'll throw out there, but it's kind of an iffy right now because we got to wait on the weather situation. Boston, they have the fourth highest implied total on the slate, going against Matt Boyd. Matt Boyd gives up a 251 WOBA to left-handers, 298 WOBAs to right-handers. So one thing I do want to say is Matt Boyd has actually been pitching very, very well for the most part on this season. So it's not a give me spot. He'd come out here and shut down Boston. I mean, it could happen. But the fact they have the fourth highest implied total on the slate, Vegas expects them to put up some runs, and they have some really good some really good right-handers who hit lefties very well. Mentioning those guys, you got to look at Pierce, Betts, JD Martinez, and Bogarts. All four of them guys are right-handers that hit lefties pretty good. And I'll mention a couple of lefties, just throwing them in there. Benintendi and Moreland have some good numbers off Matt Boyd as well, and they both have a home run apiece. So that's really kind of where I'm at. You got to kind of start with Colorado, Washington, then you work your way down, Houston, White Sox, and Boston if the game's going to play.
Yeah. I don't see maybe Vegas has moved a little bit in the last hour, but I don't see Boston with the fourth highest implied run total. I have Rockies, Astros, Nationals, White Sox, Cardinals, A's, Orioles, Tampa Bay as the top 8.
So then the Boston must have moved because like how you were telling me with the weather and stuff, they may be kind of pushing that game out already then.
I think that if the game plays under the current weather conditions right now, it bodes well for pitching. And one other place that I think you can target pitching from is in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a huge ballpark. I know in the summertime when weather, it gets hot and the air gets thin and it's humid there, and it can yield home runs and runs. But right now it's cold, and you have Godley pitching and Joe Musgrove, who is a guy we're going to take a look at today as well in the deep dive. Joe Musgrove. I'm looking. I always start my day when I'm trying to find bats at looking at pitchers that I want to attack and bullpens that are very bad that will come in behind those starting pitchers. And one thing I'm looking at is exit velocities of 95 miles per hour plus with a minimum of 25 events. And I see David Hess, Jake Arrieta, Jack Flaherty, Brad Keller, and Matt Harvey. These guys giving up very hard exit velocities. I'll get deeper into this as well as all of the regular stuff that I do on the deep dive. But those are kind of the spots. Chicago is one of my favorite teams today, so I have to agree with you on that. David Hess, an absolute gas can, gives up a bunch of hard, loud contact, and he gives up fly balls. So, if a guy's getting up hard contact and his ground ball rate is 65%, who cares, right? Because you don't need base hits. You need extra base hits. You need doubles, triples, home runs, etc. So Matt Harvey on this slate as well. The Yankees with a lower implied run total for some reason, probably because it's the lineup. They've had a ton of injuries. They're hoping to get Gary Sanchez back. Matt Harvey, definitely a guy that I want to attack today with the Yankees. And I mentioned to you this before we came on. Coors Field, it's very difficult for me today because Coors Field is a spot that I kind of have a default rule. When Coors is on the slate, I usually stack Coors with just about every other team I like. Today, I'm almost in full fade mode of Coors Field just because I like other spots much better. And you mentioned kind of what your decision process was with the GPP for the White Sox. That's kind of the decision that I'm making. That's kind of where it's at. I like Chicago. I like the White Sox a little bit better than I like the weather, the cold air, et cetera, in Colorado. That's something that I'm also considering as well. But I think Chicago is, for me, one of my top teams based off of David Hess and that Baltimore bullpen. The pitchers that I'm liking today, I like Joe. I like Musgrove, man. I like Musgrove quite a bit. Mike Minor, pitching in Oakland. This guy's been really good, man, and I've recommended Mike Minor just on about every slate he's been on, including twice against the Astros. So I do like him. Brad Killer's interesting. He gives up a lot of hard contact, but he also has one of the higher ground ball rates. And then, Brad Peacock, another guy I think is very interesting to go with, and then follow that up with Yanni Chirinos. Those are kind of where I'm at. Those are kind of where I'm looking off the board. Where I'm looking with bats is I really think that for me, the White Sox, the Cardinals, and the Brewers are going to be three of my top stacks today.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, hey man, that's really where we're at. We got some weather that we got to kind of wait on, see what's going on with that, and kind of make our decisions from there. But hey, as of now, man, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Hey, make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. As I mentioned in the beginning, we got a lot of different articles up for MLB. We still got NBA going strong, PGA, NASCAR, MMA. NHL. Hey, a lot of good things right now on the site. Check it out, dfscheatsheet.com. We actually just launched a 3-day free trial as well. Check out the site, 3 days, absolutely free. No charge to you. Hey, join the money team, man. Peace out.